Yes.
We're going to get going, everybody.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Amy.
Thank you. Mr. Anise,
Present?
Mr. Arcuri,
Here.
Mr. Bova,
Here.
Mr. Brodsky,
Here.
Mr. Coyne,
Here.
Mr. Dalia,
Here.
Mr. Ford,
Here.
Mr. Karam,
Here.
Mr. Mutolo, Mr. Sampson, and Ms. Sesney. Okay, thank you.
We had a sweep at the end there.
We did.
You had the draft minutes from August 15, 2022. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Any comments, questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Pat? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you, Jim.
You have your monthly report for the eighth month of the year, August. Very quickly, consumption is up 8.3% for the year, so that's good. It's the best it's been in quite some time. Cash flow is very healthy, so as we move into the later months, we're going to need that cash flow to pay some bills. And billing is up over budget by $180,000, so everything is looking positive as we go into the last part of the year.
Any questions for Jim? Thanks, Jim. Pat?
Just kind of dovetailing on what Jim said, since we started posting after the moratorium on shutoffs, we're now up to $1.76 million collected through the posting process. So we're recovering a lot of lost revenue. That does not include a rather substantial payment we had off of the chip fab site. They were having some difficulty internally determining the bill and responsibility, but that's been paid, and so they're now current, and we'll keep that current every month, and so we're in pretty good shape. There is a rather large delinquency that we'll talk about in just a short while in executive session that I can fill you in on later. Moving beyond that, I just want to give you another quick update.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? On the delinquencies, it's great that the municipalities get the warnings pretty much that somebody may be having their water shut off. And the reason we were given it was for the code enforcement officers, so they can keep an eye out. What they don't receive is a list of ones that actually have been shut off. They see what the potential is, the whole list. They may be shut off if they're not paid within 20 days. But they don't get one saying these have been shut off.
Very often what happens is when we turn them off, they go back on that afternoon because you come in and make payment.
Right.
So I think it'd be probably a lot of information and live updating to try to keep people apprised of that. But I think what would probably be useful is if there's one that's shut off and it's gone more than 48 hours with no payment and it's still off. That's probably where, yeah, I think that's where probably codes people are going to want to know then what's going on in there.
Right.
But I think to try to update everybody on a live basis, because as I said, when we shut them off in the morning, very very often we get paid the same day and we go back out and turn it back.
Yeah, if they're off for a reasonable length of time, maybe they should get an update.
A little discussion about that before, and we have to decide what's a reasonable amount of time and what's really useful for their time as a code officer to determine what do they really need to know versus what's a lot of clutter that's just going to clog them up. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. I'm sure there's something we could figure out for that, because it's important for us too that the code officer knows if the water's off, is someone still living there? Has it gone vacant? What's happened with it?
Exactly.
We need to know that too. So we'll take that up.
Okay.
Thanks, Carl. I wanted to give you an update on the metering situation. As you know, the board approved hiring a consultant to help us sort out what we're doing with Neptune meters and what they're willing to do to remedy the situation. with our what we call AMI, Advanced Metering Infrastructure, which is a radio reading meter network with the collector towers and stuff. Essentially, they've told us a little while back that they can't support it anymore. They can't get parts for these things. They're not pulling the plug on it. We've got past that point, but we are looking at potentially upgrading to some newer equipment. Our attorney, Ken Bobrow, and I, along with some staff, have had quite a bit of conversation now with our consultant. The next step at this point is that I have notified Neptune we're ready to meet with them in earnest with our consultant at the table to begin talking about what it is they're really going to be able to do for us to make this thing work in a way that would be equitable to everybody. So hopefully we'll be getting that going sometime either this week or early next week, and then I'll keep you updated. By the October meeting, we should have some pretty good reading as to what direction we may be going with this thing, and probably seeking some board input by then as well. Other topic I want to mention is that Phil Tangora has been working very closely with Veolia, which is the new name for Suez that runs our water treatment plant. As you may recall, Suez was purchased by Veolia, and we thought we had an agreement ready to bring back tonight for approval. And when Phil got the final draft back, there were some changes that had been made that we still need to discuss with them. So he did have a conference call with them this morning. It looks like we should be back on track. They apparently had someone else working on this that hadn't been involved in the process before, and something got screwed up along the way. We're not too sure what, but Phil has assured me, based on his assurance from Mike Burke at the company, that we should have this thing ironed out in the next few days. So as of now, our goal is to make sure that Ken has a chance to give a final review on it and then move it to the board at the October meeting, even though that'll be a busy meeting. We don't think the Veolia contract will take a whole lot of time, since the only thing we're really making changes on is one or two smaller items that we can talk about then.
Pat, is this for the extension or for the actual contract?
5-year renewal for January, yeah. The extension the board approved. Yeah, so we did a 5-month extension to take us through December 31st. What we're at now is doing another longer-term contract. So that's what our goal is to bring in for October. The other thing is that you may be aware that there's regulations regarding lead service pipes, lead content in the water. It looks like EPA will lower the action level from 15 parts per billion down to 10. That's going to be tough for us to meet. In the meantime, we also have to do a lead service inventory, and then we have a company on board, Corona Labs, that's going to help us to do testing with lead pipes and try experimenting with our buffering treatment that we do at the plant to see if there's a way to achieve the lower action level with just chemical treatment. In the meantime, though, we harvested two lead service pipes have been pulled out of the ground so far. They're in storage, waiting for the testing loop to get set up. We still need to dig out more. We would have 4, but 2 that our records showed were lead turned out to be copper. So that's why, utilities such as us and all across the country have 2 more years to finish up this inventory of where all the lead services are, because we know that a lot of older records aren't accurate, or not as accurate as they ought to be, because changes get made and don't get recorded. Sometimes homeowners will bring someone in and change out their service. We never even know about it till we dig it. So we're still grappling with that, but we're gearing up to start the testing, the chemical testing, on the lead pipe loop that we're setting up for experimenting, and we'll let you know how that goes, and hopefully we can find some chemical alternative with just tweaking our corrosion control program that may keep us from having to start ripping pipes out of the ground and changing them in earnest. We'll see how that goes. And then just one more reminder, tomorrow is the treatment plant tour for any board members that want to come along. We're going to be meeting out front at 1:45, and it takes about 15-20 minutes to get up there. Hopefully we'll all be back here by 4:30, something like that. And between Phil and I and a few others, we'll work out. We can carpool. Shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 vehicles. So we'll figure that out tomorrow. But if you're interested in going, please be out in the parking lot right in front of the building by 1:45. And then we'll head on up. And I think for all those that go, I think you'll be very impressed and enjoy it. It'll be a good learning experience. Yes, Bruce?
I just want to take a step back on the lead on 2 questions. One,
Is the 15 to the 10 set, is that what?
No.
Just
This is speculation.
speculation, okay. The second, so did you say you're looking at doing remote chemical addition to the system?
No. I said something about remote meter reading, but
No, related to lead,
no.
mitigating
Chemical.
the chemical. Did you say,
No.
so you're still looking at any,
What's going to happen is that we have to pull lead pipes out of the ground, ones that are currently in use. They're stored properly. We're setting up a test loop at our Campbell Street facility, the maintenance yard, and then we're going to have 12 to 15. I don't know the exact number. Phil, do we know that at this point?
The design says 12. We'll have 12. Yeah.
Pipes in loop, and then what's going to happen with this company Corona is that they'll begin experimenting with different methodology of corrosion control, tweaking what we have, trying
okay, so
new
this is
materials.
corrosion control from the plant?
Correct.
So yeah,
From the plant.
the treated water. I believe in the plant is buffered right now, so the water doesn't interact with the lead.
My question, because I was interested when I thought what you said, what you didn't say.
Oh.
Is there, considering the potential of the lead pipes being primarily in certain geographic areas, is there any benefit to looking at remote chemical applications that will serve,
Just isolated areas of distribution.
well, areas that might be more prone to lead?
There's really, I mean, it's something that we've done in the past. We used to feed ortho just at Southern Reservoir, and used to feed just that one area, but there's no way. We know the concentration of those services are either in the city and the older villages and towns, but there's really no place that would be suitable to feed into those specific pressure zones or service areas.
Yeah, interesting concept, but we're not segmented enough to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I had for now, unless there's any questions.
Questions for Pat? Thank you. Any old business? Any new business?
What are we doing on the budget?
After.
Oh, okay.
I need a motion to go into executive session regarding potential litigation.
Second, whatever.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Right?
Anybody opposed? Thank you.